Welcome to Workplace Psychology with Dr. Martha Grajdek. I'm Dr. Martha Grajdek. This podcast examines a wide variety of work-related issues through the lens of industrial and organizational psychology. And while many of the topics discussed here may be seen as intended for white-collar employees and their employers, in reality, the ideas presented here are applicable across organizations and industries. Additionally, many of the topics discussed here may be applicable outside of the workplace. I encourage you to examine what's presented here, apply what makes sense to you, and simply discard the rest. Many of you have heard the phrase that says that two heads are better than one, or maybe something similar to that particular phrase. Essentially, what it means, what is conveyed with a phrase like that, is that allowing for diversity, having multiple sources of ideas, multiple sets of eyes to look at things, to examine things, tends to be better than just one head or one source of ideas or one set of eyes examining things. This is not a new concept. This is something that we have known for a long time. Sometimes humans tend to stick with things or people that are the same as them, maybe for the sake of familiarity, for the sake of ease, for the sake of convenience, whatever the case may be. But when we do that, and it does happen, we miss out on the benefits of diversity. And when we consider the workplace and the success of teams at a workplace, diversity can make or break a team. After all, diversity can be a driver for innovation. It only makes sense that when we have a collection of diverse ideas, points of views, and resources, we tend to have better outcomes. And research backs that up. Knowing that sometimes we get stuck in favoring those things or those people who are the same as we are, we have to be conscious and work proactively towards the challenges that could come with that way of thinking or those types of behaviors. Because if we get stuck in only seeking out or surrounding ourselves with that which is the same or those who are the same like us, we risk missing out on all the benefits that come along with diversity. And that's not to say that any kind of biases or choices or behaviors are necessarily conscious. Sometimes avoiding diversity could be a symptom of poor communications within an organization. But regardless of what the root of lacking diversity may be, it is up to the organization and its leaders to be proactive. That means being proactive in bringing diverse resources and a diversity in terms of the workforce into the organization. Any organization that strives to succeed must be able to embrace any approach that will help them to be more successful. What can an organization do? What are some practical steps that an organization can take to bring more diversity into its reality? Just as an organization may seek out a diversity in things such as resources for their employees or vendors for their organization, it is also beneficial to have a diverse workforce. As such, an organization will do well by building diverse teams and by promoting inclusion. Remember that this isn't something that happens once. It's not a one and done type of situation. It's important to make diversity a continuous process within an organization. It has to be organic and evolving throughout time. Proper training and awareness are key here. When it comes to diversity, especially when an organization is taking on making changes to make their teams more diverse and therefore more robust, more productive, more innovative, training and awareness are a must. Oftentimes, seeking out an outside source, a third party to provide such training is a great option. Diversity has to become part of the organization's culture, and this is where the company's leadership comes into play. You absolutely have to focus on leading by example. Once diversity and inclusion become part of the organization's DNA, part of its culture, then it will be that much easier to continually implement and evolve diversity within that organization. And as a result, the organization will be able to continue reaping the benefits that come with diversity. And since culture comes from the top, it's critical that an organization hires the kinds of management and leadership that understands the benefits and the importance of diversity and inclusion. Let's go over some of the basic benefits of diversity, and this is by no means an all-inclusive list. There's much more to it. First and foremost, diversity by itself fosters inclusivity. We can think of it as a byproduct of diversity. Diverse teams, diverse workforces are more resilient and have a higher ability to adapt to ever-changing landscapes and situations. What organization wouldn't want that? Diverse teams perform better than homogeneous groups. This is a no-brainer since diversity within a team brings with it more resources, thus allowing the team to perform better over its homogeneous counterparts. Diversity promotes enhanced creativity and innovation. That's something that can make or break a company. That's something that could give you that cutting edge over your competition. Diversity also brings with it better decision making. It can also encourage learning and personal growth. As I said, this is just a small part of the list of benefits that come along with diversity within a workplace. But even with this short list, it's not difficult to see how beneficial diversity is, not only to the workforce, but also to the organization as a whole. An organization will do well to take proactive steps to make an effort to diversify their workforce and their environment. It may be a good idea to bring an outside agency to help get that started. If, for example, the organization is currently not set up with proper resources and proper trainings that would facilitate such a move. And remember that training is just as important for those in the trenches, so to speak, as it is important for management, as it is important for those in human resources departments. Training and awareness are absolutely critical when we consider diversity within the workplace. So, whether you are a business owner or someone in leadership or management position, or someone working for the organization, someone not in a management position, the conversation regarding diversity within the workplace is one that can be started at any point. Diversity benefits everybody within the organization and, as a result, the organization itself. As this episode comes to an end, let's review what was discussed. Diversity is an important topic of conversation. It comes with many benefits. However, it's not uncommon that sometimes diversity is put on the back burner because it's so easy to get stuck in sticking with what is familiar, what is the same. Many of such biases can really interfere with the landscape of an organization. It's important for those in management and leadership positions to be proactive in bringing diversity into the organization and its culture. There are practical steps that all organizations can take in order to increase the diversity of their own workforce. There are many benefits that come with a diverse workforce, from better performing teams to better problem solving and more creativity within the organization. And while diversity is largely the responsibility of those in leadership positions, anybody can start the conversation pertaining to diversity within their workplace. As the week unfolds, I encourage you to consider how diverse is the workforce of your organization, whether you are a business owner, someone in leadership or management position, or an employee in a non-management position. Considering the many benefits that come with diversity at the workplace, it's a good idea to start that conversation, and it's never too late to reap the benefits that come with diversity. For those of you who experience this podcast in an audio-only version, I encourage you to check out my YouTube channel, Stress Free with Dr. G. In addition to finding the video version of this podcast, you will also find videos that focus on stress management. So I encourage you to go to YouTube, check out Stress Free with Dr. G, and the link for that is in the description below. Thank you for joining me today. Please subscribe to this podcast. I look forward to seeing you here again next time. Until then, I wish you joy and well-being.